I'm Professor Neerav Mehta from LG Institute of Technology and Engineering. In today's session, we will going to discuss about subject called automobile component and system design. So, in previous session, we have discussed about general design consideration. In this particular session, we are going to discuss about particularly mechanical and machine element design. How we are going to design our mechanical machine element. So, for that, we should have what is the requirement of this machine element, what are the different design calculation we have to perform, what are the different dimension, and ultimately based on application we are going to select this machine element. So let's consider one example. If we have to design piston, then we should know about basic requirement to design that piston. After designing that basic, after considering the basic requirement, we'll have that design calculation, and ultimately from that design calculation we can have dimension, and depending on the dimension we can have application for that particular piston. So this is the basic procedure which you can apply to any of the machine element, or it will also helpful for a GTU examination. This follows this procedure from step by step. We will going to understand this procedure one by one by taking an example, whether it is a piston and one is gearbox. Like if I am considering an element to design, then first of all I should know what is the function of that element. This function of the element you could know from the market and existing design, or you can find out from the requirement, which is you should have to design for your particular component or your machine. So depending on the function, you can have your element. Like if I am considering a piston to be designed, then I should know that it has to withstand against and compressive force as well as thermal stress. At the same time, it has to transfer power from one point to another without having any failure. Depending on that, we will have determination of the force acting on that particular element, clear, whether it is a heat transfer force or direct stress. Then depending on that, we can have the suitable selection of suitable material for that particular forces. After selecting that suitable material, the determination of a failure we will find out where and from what, and what kind of force will going to fail our component. Clear? Based on that, we will going to determine geometry and the dimension of that component, and finally, depending on the geometry and dimension, we can provide that modification to ultimately assembly, to have that assembly of our component, and after that we can have our model or drafting or drawing on paper. So let's have a function of an element. So what are the function of different element? Clear? There are different types of element, from supporting element to power transmission element to energy reservoir to force measuring to joining element to motion producing element. So we will have a different types of element when it comes to function. Like if it is supporting element, then we will have a bearing. If it is a power transmitting element, it could be a key. If it is an energy reservoir, then it could be a flywheel. If it is a force measuring element, then it will be a spring. If it is a joining element, then it could be a screw. If a motion producing element, that could be a power screw. So these are the different elements which we are going to when we are deciding the function of our machine, that we can use depending on those functions. Clear? Now, next thing is determination of the forces. So these forces are determined depending on what kind of machine we are going to design. Clear? Like if I am designing a connecting rod, then the forces will be the different forces could be like a bending stress, compressive stress, direct stress, and a shear stress. Clear? So force due to useful load, there are multiple forces like static force, frictional force, inertia force, centrifugal force, force due to temperature variation, residual stress, or due to its geometry. So these are the different forces which we can use. Clear? After determining the forces, we'll move on to find out what type of selection of a material will going to take place. For selection of material, we will have, like if I am going to select a material for my piston design, then it could be n number of material are available. There are two major criteria to select a material for that particular piston, if I am considering its mechanical property, it should have a lightweight and at the same time it should have higher amount of heat transfer. But there are also other criteria like availability of a material, cost of that particular material, and also manufacturing consideration of that material. If I want to select a material, these are the different four major criteria which will the material selection will going to depend on. I hope you got this point clear. In next point, we're going to discuss about determination of failure mode of an element. Now, in some element, we have to come across an elastic deflection. It called is a failed. Like if in the case of a connecting rod, if it is having an elastic deflection, we can consider it as a failed. While in a spring, we are allowed that spring to have or a suspension, we are allowed to have it is a elastic deflection, but it shouldn't be a yield or it shouldn't be yield or any kind of fracture should have place. So these are the different criteria for a different component depending on their different functions. So these are the failure mode criteria for our component. If it is could be a failed by elastic deflection, yielding, or a fracture. Next, we'll look into the determination of the geometrical dimension. The geometrical dimension and depend on four criteria majorly: operating condition of that component, whether like if it is using if we are having a space constraint in terms of a gearbox, then we have to design it for a more number of gears and smaller in size. Clear. A shape of adjoining element, like if I want to assemble that particular gearbox, then how to make sure that the previous and adjacent component should be satisfied each other's criteria, or they should help to get assembled within each other. Then forces acting on our component, and ultimately what is the material of that component. So these are the different criteria which we can applicable, which can be applicable to our. Then, depending on that, we will modify and check our design. This is the modification of check of the design takes place depending on the function of our component. While providing this function to our component, we can have these modifications as well as we can have this modification for particular assembly also. Clear? While mounting it on our machine. Then the final step to have that machine elemental design, that is a drawing on paper. After this modification, dimension, failure mode criteria, material selection, we will have our final drawing on paper. This procedure will help to design any kind of machine element, whether it is a complex like a gearbox or a IC engine, or a smaller like or simple like nut and bolt. This is the same procedure which we can follow. Once again, let's look into the procedure which we can have. First of all, we will find out the function of an element, then determine the forces, then select the suitable material for that, then determine the failure mode criteria for the particular element, then determine the geometry and dimension of that particular element, ultimately modify and check that particular design, and then drawing on paper. I hope you got each and every point regarding to this. This particular session, I have taken it from machine design of machine element by VV Bhandari. You can use this VV Bhandari as well as RS Kurmi at the same time. If you are having any doubt regarding to this, you can directly contact me. I'm Professor Nilo Mehta. You have that my number. Thank you. I'm stopping here. Thank you. Thank you.